All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar, Ticket Restaurant by Edenred Benefits. My name is Andrei Kazlovich, Director of Customer Success and Service here at Edenred Benefits. And on the call today, we also have Russ Vaughn and Caitlin Hogan, our Customer Success Managers. Russ will walk us through the Ticket Restaurant program. Coincidentally, Russ is the CSM who was directly involved in our first successful implementation of Ticket Restaurant here in the US. And we also have Jackie Mailey Patel, who is our sales manager. Jackie will help us with the Q&A section. She is directly involved in promoting this new benefit in the US and is a great resource of information for us. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And on today's presentation, we will talk about Edenred's global presence. We will introduce one of Edenred's flagship products, Ticket Restaurant. We will explain the benefit for you, your company, and your employees. We will show how the Ticket Restaurant program works, and then we will save some time at the end for your questions. So feel free throughout the presentation, feel free to submit your questions to us, and then at the end of the presentation, we will provide the answers or follow up with the answers after this call. So as many of you know, Edenred is a global company. We are a leading employee benefits provider connecting 50 million employee users, 2 million partner merchants in 46 countries via more than 850,000 corporate clients. Our global presence is 10,000 employees strong. Prior to today's presentation, many of you knew us almost exclusively as a commuter benefits provider. And this is true. We are a leading provider of commuter benefits in the US, serving 12,000 employers, partners with 50 third-party administrators, working with 460 transit agencies, over 5,000 parking locations. And we manage commuter programs for the largest metropolitan area transit authorities. But if we look at Edenred's global presence, 65% of our solutions focus on employee benefits, and only 35% on commuter benefits and mobility and complementary services. So, for example, and not to divert the focus of today's webinar, but if you are interested in adding shared mobility or micromobility like bike shops, biking, bike sharing, electric scooters, or single lift rides to the list of mobility products offered under your commuter benefits plan, please talk to us, reach out to your customer success manager. And I think in most of the cases on this webinar, it will either be Russ or Caitlin. And also at the end of the presentation, we will share some contact information. So feel free to reach out to us about micromobility and shared mobility options. But the focus of this webinar is, of course, not on micromobility. It is on Ticket Restaurant. And what we do, we now bring some of Edenred's most successful flagship products to the US. And one of such products is Ticket Restaurant. The Ticket Restaurant program initially launched in France more than 50 years ago and gradually expanded to 35 countries with a footprint of 1.5 billion meals served every year. The United States, of course, is a key market for the program's expansion, bringing a unique benefit to millions of employees who can enjoy employer-sponsored meals using our Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard at local eateries, cafes, restaurants, and via meal delivery services like Grubhub or DoorDash. Russ will now walk you through the details of the Ticket Restaurant program, and Russ is also, provides wealth of information and experience when it comes to Ticket Restaurant because he was the first customer success manager to implement our first successful implementation of Ticket Restaurant in the US. So Russ, please take it away.
Thank you, Andre. So, yep, let's take a deeper dive into restaurants so we can all get a better feel of how your organization can offer this benefits boosting perk. So Ticket Restaurant models our commuter line of business in several ways, one of which is targeted spending. So just like we have a database of approved transit and parking vendors, we do the same with restaurants, cafes, and eateries anywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. So while your organization offers a benefit to go toward employee meals, we make sure that the card is being used as it's intended. So in addition to cafes and restaurants and eateries, the card can also be used with meal delivery services like Grubhub and DoorDash, which we've seen are very popular options, especially in times where People are trying to limit their amount of contact. And our Ticket Restaurant MasterCard provides the same great cardholder experiences as our commuter card. So online account management, mobile app functionality, access to our in-house customer support team, the ability to sign up for on-demand texting so your employees can always check the balance with a click of a button. So those are the same advantages and sort of a seamless experience for your employees that already may be taking advantage of some of our commuter products. So where Ticket Restaurant sets itself apart is participation and engagement. Edenred clients and employees absolutely love this benefit. Over 75% of employees with active cards are actively engaged in using this benefit. And for Ticket Restaurant in the US, participation is closer to 90%. So Edenred has processed over 67 million payments just in the last 12 months. We also have 24,000 corporate clients nationwide that use this benefit. So you can trust that we're positioned to offer a best-in-class product that your employees are going to use and love with this benefit. And then another tidbit of information here is, on average, employers sponsor about $15 each workday, but this amount can absolutely be customized to meet your organization's specific needs and requirements. So beyond providing employees with a perk that will increase engagement and retention, Ticket Restaurant promotes a varied and high quality food diet thanks to an increase in purchasing power. So Ticket Restaurant's going to give your employees flexibility to purchase healthier food options that can generally be perceived as more expensive, and sometimes employees are less inclined to purchase those healthy products because they are expensive. So this is critical because employees with unhealthy diets are 66% more likely to miss work due to illness. On the flip side, employees who eat healthy all day long are 25% more likely to have higher job performance. So not only does this benefit help retain talent, but it helps employees be more productive and happier overall, leading to a work culture that is truly unmatched. And then lastly, offering this unique benefit will help. It helps retain existing employees, but it also can be a differentiator in your organization's ability to consistently acquire top talent over your competition. So 57% of job seekers list perks among their top considerations before taking a new job. As mentioned just a moment ago, employees can use the Ticket Restaurant MasterCard for meal delivery services like Grubhub, Seamless, Postmates, DoorDash, Waiter, all to enjoy the convenience of delivery straight to their door, which again, to reiterate, never been important more than today. So a lot of people are trying to limit their exposure to indoor dining, and these delivery options will only get more popular, especially for us Northeasterns up here, as weather starts to cool and outdoor seating becomes scarce. And then we have our dedicated mobile app for Ticket Restaurant. So again, it allows the employees to check their balance on the go, access their debit PIN, report their card lost or stolen if needed, review transaction history, which will include successful purchases or why their card may have been declined at certain locations. It really just gives them a one-stop shop, one place to check everything that they need to know specific to their Ticket Restaurant MasterCard. So at this point, we've overviewed a little bit about the employee experience, but why should your organization offer Ticket Restaurant program to your employees? We touched on this a little bit in the earlier slides, but to reiterate, food-oriented employee benefits programs improve the attractiveness of companies that offer them. People love, and more importantly, they need food. So that's why we see extremely high participation rates with this benefit offering. And unequivocally, it's going to be a differentiator for your employees that helps boost employee retention, boost employee engagement, increase your employees' productivity and efficiency metrics, and in turn, it's going to elevate your company culture and really set your organization apart from the competition. And by offering this program through Edenred, your company and you as an administrator will continue to have full visibility and control over the benefits provided to your employees. So you'll be able to access each employee's account and transaction history. You'll have access to in-depth reporting on card usage, the ability to manually manage an employee roster, or we can build an integration between your HRIS system and our system to feed that employee eligibility information seamlessly. And of course, your program will be supported by myself or Caitlin on the call, whoever your dedicated customer success manager is, with the help of our in-house customer support team. So it's going to be a lot of seamless transition, because what we do for the commuter business is in a lot of ways the same exact processes that you are used to today will carry over to the Ticket Restaurant line of business as well. So let's get into the implementation process. It's a 45-day window. That's our recommended window. So it starts with the first step of contract signature. Once the contract is signed, Edenred will need to receive that list of eligible employees or establish an HRIS integration connection. And then once we receive employee information, accounts are automatically created for employees, and then their window to opt out of the benefit will begin. Once that opt-out window passes, cards are then shipped to employees, which takes about 7 to 10 business days. And then once the employee receives the card, they can activate it immediately, whether that be on the mobile app or on the website, to begin immediately using it at desired restaurants, cafes, and eateries. So it's a very short, very simple implementation process, especially because most of us on the call we're already familiar with the program, the processes. So these will really be a breeze, because it's one product. It's the MasterCard. That's how employees will be able to use this. So from a processing standpoint, it's very, very simple. So I'm going to pitch it back to Andre. He's going to take us through to the Q&A section. But before we do that, I wanted to give him the opportunity for him to bring attention to our Employee Benefit with a Heart campaign. So Andre, go ahead and take it away.
Great, thank you, Russ. And since many of you are more familiar with our transit and shared and micromobility options and the social causes that are attached to that benefit. So, for example, our sustainability campaign, the Ideal Planet, where through our partnership with One Tree Planted, for throughout the year for new participants, Edenred commits to planting a tree, and many of our employer partners are matching that that contribution, and together we help a very good cause where we help reduce CO2 footprint. We help decrease deforestation, and we do it together. So that's the feel-good part of transit, micromobility, and shared mobility campaign. And so when we were just considering bringing this new employee benefit to the United States, we wanted to think what social cause could be attached to this campaign. And in our research, we found a very important cause that we can all support, and it's the No Kid Hungry. And when I walk you through some of the stats, to me personally, that was a big surprise, and I'm very happy that we're now offering this benefit and partnering with organizations, and we make a difference for millions of children in this country. So in our research, we found out that 13 million kids in the US struggle with hunger. So then that's 1 in 6 kids in this country who live with hunger. And over half of public school students in America are from low-income families, and 22 million of those kids rely on free or reduced price meals. So we couldn't think of a better social cause to be attached with this employee benefit than No Kid Hungry. So Edenred will be donating a portion of the proceeds from Ticket Restaurant to the federal nutrition programs supporting families and children in need. And so with every meal purchased through Ticket Restaurant, you and your employees, together with Edenred, make a difference in the lives of millions of children around the country. And so that's a feel-good campaign. When you grab that lunch, you know that you also give a lunch to a child in need, and we do it together through this program. So it's we call it an employee benefit with a heart, and it truly is. So we we receive a lot of positive response from companies that we are partnering with for Ticket Restaurant. To a large degree for this incredible purpose of reducing childhood hunger in America. So we look forward to joining our efforts and help this great cause. And that concludes our presentation for the Ticket Restaurant. We will now jump to the FAQs. We have some of the frequently asked questions that we typically receive on these webinars, and so you will see them on your screen. And if you submitted questions throughout this presentation, that Jackie will help us navigate through some of those questions. So we will spend the remaining 10 minutes of this call answering your questions.
So Jackie, while you kind of go through some of the questions that have come through so far, just really quickly, let's cover the first three off to the left side of the page here. So what is the maximum limit that one employee can accumulate on their Ticket Restaurant MasterCard? So it's very similar to what we have on transit and parking. The maximum card limit is $2,000. The maximum transaction amount per day. So these cards are used much more like on a frequent basis because employees aren't using it to purchase a monthly transit pass. They're using it on a daily basis. So the card limit per day in terms of number of transactions that an employee can make per day is 12. And they can purchase up to $1,000 worth of food per day as well. And then what happens to the Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard if an employee leaves the company? The cards and funds loaded on the account will remain with the employee if they leave the company. Of course, upon special request, if your organization would like to close the card and have the funds credited towards the next invoice, similar to how the transit and parking invoices are handled, we can absolutely accommodate that request as well.
All right, so we do have some questions that have come through. Is it okay if I go through some of these?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
All right, so this first question is actually a really great question, and it says, what are the tax implications for employers and employees for offering this perk? And this is a great question, especially where most or all of you are utilizing our commuter benefits program, and you're most likely using it with the pre-tax basis. This benefit is a little different. Ticket Restaurant is not a pre-tax program. So any funding that's being provided to your employees will need to be considered taxable income. So again, it is similar to commuter benefits, but it's different with the pre-tax implications there. Another question that came through is, can the census or the eligibility list that you're using today for your commuter program be transferred over to Ticket Restaurant? And the answer to that is yes. We can work with you to take care of migrating those employees and their demographic information into our Ticket Restaurant program. That's not a problem at all.
Jackie, just to stop you real quick there too, because there was the first question you had highlighted. I just want to bring a little bit of added context to that as well. So you guys are familiar with our commuter benefits dashboard. So for the Ticket Restaurant dashboard, there is a specific widget on that dashboard that highlights and brings clarity to the Ticket Restaurant benefit offering that the employee will be subject to taxes on the employer-sponsored funds that go towards the Ticket Restaurant MasterCard. So if they do not want to be taxed on those funds, so let's just say hypothetically, your organization were to allocate $300 a month towards the card, the employee would be responsible to pay payroll taxes on those funds. But if they do not want to engage in that process, they can opt out of the benefit directly on the site as well. So all of that is displayed front and center for the employee for them to make the decision whether or not they want to participate in the program.
Awesome.
ahead.
And then one last question that came through here is, can the dollar amount that's being provided to their staff be customized? Meaning, are they limited to just that average of $15 per day? And the answer to that is no. Each organization can decide on their own how much they actually want to provide to their staff. So we have, I know some groups that do as little as $8 a day to cover typically like breakfast and coffee expenses. Other groups do give more, but it's completely flexible and customized to your organization's needs in offering this benefit.
And Jackie, correct me if I'm wrong, but many companies who typically provide lunches through their cafeterias, and let's say now because of COVID-19, that is not temporarily the option. They roll out ticket restaurants specifically for that purpose, so the current employees don't feel like they're missing out on that great benefit.
Yeah, that's been one of the recent drivers of the calls that we've been getting regarding Ticket Restaurant, is groups who maybe have a cafeteria on site, a stocked kitchen. The benefit or perk of being able to say, hey, we're going to provide you, breakfast or maybe even lunch isn't there anymore. And where a lot of organizations are not looking to fully return maybe 100% back into the office until next year, this really is a great way to continue offering the same benefit that you may have once offered before. Another piece of why groups have been calling us regarding Ticket Restaurant too is for those employees who maybe are commuting into the office, there's been some concern around safety in the office and in the shared spaces of the kitchens regarding touching the microwaves and maybe, storing their food in the fridge there. So one, it was a way to incentivize employees coming into the office is being able to provide them with this Ticket Restaurant card. And the second piece is with that connection with the food delivery services, it provides just a safer way of employees getting access to meals and food that maybe they were a little nervous about sharing those spaces in their kitchen. So just another factor that people have been reaching out and sharing why they're looking to implement this benefit.
Great, thank you, Jackie. So, Russ, while we await additional questions from the participants, maybe we could review the three remaining questions on the right-hand side.
Absolutely. So where can I use my Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard? You can use your Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard towards qualifying meal purchases at local restaurants, cafes that are pursuant to your benefits plan. And this is literally any restaurant, cafe from coast to coast. Where can I use my Ticket Restaurant, or I'm sorry, when can I use my Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard is also another common question that we get. The answer is that you can use it at any time of the day during your working schedule. But if your organization has established a specific usage policy about the program benefits, then we would rely on the HR benefits team to tell you about these policies, and we would adjust that program as those policies need to be customized. And then, does the unused monthly balance of my Ticket Restaurant prepaid MasterCard roll over into the next month? Yes. Any unused balance on that MasterCard will automatically roll over the next month. No action is required for these automatic rollovers. The only caveat to this is we still need to maintain that maximum card limit of $2,000 on the card. So if your employees are already familiar with how our commuter MasterCard works, there is a ton of similarity between that MasterCard and our Ticket Restaurant MasterCard in terms of, yes, the balances don't need to be forfeited at a specific time. It's not a, if you don't use it, you lose it type of benefit. And the cards themselves will stay active for a multi-year span. And in the event that you continue this partnership with us for over 3 years, because generally that's the lifespan of these cards, Edenred will automatically reissue a new card with a fresh 3-year expiration date to your employees without them having to request any sort of replacement card for their soon to be expired card. And then we will transfer those balances on that old card onto their new card as well.
And Russ, since you mentioned the lifespan of the card, I think another question that we typically receive is the duration of that agreement. What is the typical duration of the agreement with Ticket Restaurant? And it can be as short as 6 months. So it's not a long-term commitment. So many companies who have their offices temporarily closed, and that's those customers who want to continue providing the meals benefit to their employees, they usually use this option. But we also have 12 months, 24 months, and 36 months, and obviously the longer the term of the commitment, the more flexibility we have with this program. But this is one of the questions that we typically receive, the duration of the agreement. Anywhere from 6 months to 36 months with opportunity to auto renew if the program meets your employee needs.
Thanks, Andre. Jackie, have any other questions come through in the chat? I know we only have a couple minutes. We'll accommodate like the hard stop at 1:30, wherever you are, if that's 1:30 Eastern time, or I think that's 10:30 Pacific time. Any other questions that have come through, Jackie? If not, there's always the opportunity, please, if you're like myself, my best questions come after the webinar ends, and I just don't have the opportunity to ask away. It's just how my brain works. But if, of course, you guys do have any additional questions, Caitlin and I are here to answer any that you have. We're happy to jump on the phone at any time, or you could email our personal email inbox, or you could email us at customersuccess@commuterbenefits.com, and our entire team will take a look at the question and provide you with any sort of support that you need. But Jackie, were there any other questions that came through?
No other questions just yet, but again, we're going to stay on for a couple more minutes. So should you have anything, please feel free to send them away. And as well, like Russ said, you can reach out to him, Caitlin, and the general customer success email box, and we'll take care of any questions you may have.
And also, some of you may have a relationship with a customer success manager who was not one of the presenters today. So feel free to reach out to them directly. Or if you don't have a relationship with the CSM, please use the customer success at commuterbenefits.com that hits our entire group, and we'll make sure that we get the response for you. We will also follow up with this PowerPoint presentation after this call, so you'll have this information for your review.
Good.
And Jackie, if there are no questions, then we thank everybody for joining us in this webinar and learning a little bit about Edenred Benefits and about this new exciting product, new employee benefit called Ticket Restaurant. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Awesome. Thank you, Andre, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.